Aew Dynamite starts with MJF coming out to the ring with FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler and Sean Spears and Wardlow, and MJF comes out on a throne and makes out with the woman on the apron. MJF is celebrating beating CM Punk last week. Then Punk walks out and says he wants a rematch, and he brought friends, and Sting and Darby Allin come out with baseball bats, and MJF says if Punk beats FTR with a partner other than Sting or Darby, he will give him a match whenever he wants. Backstage, Andrade is with Sting and Darby Allin, and Andrade says to Sting, it's good to meet the boss of Darby, and Sting says nobody is Darby's boss, and if you want to talk to Darby, then talk to him. And Darby says, I have bigger things to do than work for you, like become TNT champion, and Andrade says, I am the next TNT champion. Wardlow with Sean Spears in his corner versus the Blade, and Wardlow wins with 3 powerbombs. After the match, Spears hits the Blade with a steel chair. The Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Santana and Ortiz come out, and Santana says Jericho has been holding back he and Ortiz from winning the tag team titles this whole time in AEW because they always have to come to Jericho's rescue, and Jericho says since I brought you two in, you've main evented pay-per-views and Dynamite and your pay has gone through the roof, but maybe I invited the wrong 2 members of LAX to join this group. And Santana grabs Jericho's throat and Sammy splits them up, but Jericho yells shut up Sammy. And Sammy says, I've quit this group before, and unless you guys can figure this shit out, I'll quit again. And Sammy throws his Inner Circle vest on the mat and walks off. And Ortiz says, where we come from, we sort out issues with our fists. So next week, Santana and Ortiz versus Jericho and Hager. Backstage, Roppongi Vice, Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero have an interview, but the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson and Adam Cole attack Trent and Romero. Then Adam Cole says, look who it is guys, and Switchblade Jay White shows up and drops Trent. Later on backstage, the Bucks tell Cole they wish he would have told them about Jay White, and Cole says once you're Bullet Club for life, and the Bucks say that Jay White and Kenny Omega had problems a few months ago, and Cole says you can trust me, and if you can trust me, then you can trust Jay White. Isaiah Cassidy with Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy in his corner versus Keith Lee, who makes his debut and throws Cassidy in the sky. During the match, Matt gets angry and leaves through the crowd, and Keith Lee wins with the FU. After the match, Keith powerbombs Mark onto Cassidy. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler with Tully Blanchard in their corner versus CM Punk and Jon Moxley, and Punk wins with the GTS, so now Punk gets a match with MJF. AQA versus Jade Cargill, and Jade wins with Jaded. Serena Deeb versus Katie Arquette with a 5-minute time limit, and Deeb wins with a Serenity Lock. Lance Archer versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas Death Match for the World Championship in the main event. You win by keeping your opponent down for a referee's count of 10. They start fighting backstage, and Page throws Archer through a glass panel that's set up at one of the entrances for some reason. During the match, Dan Lambert comes out and takes off the top rope so Page can't hit the buckshot lariat. Page and Archer fight in the crowd, and Jake the Snake Roberts goes to hit a DDT on Page, but Archer stops it, and Archer stabs Page with a fork and hits a blackout to Page on sideways steel stairs, but Page wins the match by launching himself off of a referee and hitting a buckshot lariat to the outside of the ring through a table. After the match, Adam Cole comes out and hands Page the world title. We'll see you next week for the next Dynamite highlight.